You better turn down that TV, dude, unless you want to hear Clark cry.
Oh, God. All right, no. I can't wait for this scene. This scene is so great because it also shows you how dumb Clark is. By the way, so this episode's only going to be about 30 minutes, right? Because there's not going to be very many pauses.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
Like, there's just no way that you and I are going to be going crazy with these pauses today. All right, so in all honesty, I don't know where any of our conversations are going to be going today. I don't feel like I want to do this episode. And you know what's the craziest part about it? Next week is going to be worse. I don't think anybody should listen to this week and next week. See, we should have done a filler episode.
Dude, why would you start it off like that, bro? We already have listeners going in. Why would we do that, dude?
What?
What?
I'm trying to warn them. This is what I'm doing for our audience. This is how they know they can trust us. We're not going in saying, yeah, this is the best episode of all time. Can't wait for you guys to listen. No, this episode could burn in hell.
Oh my God, dude.
What does this episode do? It gives us nothing to progress any type of story.
It gives us a really lonely Clark Kent who just needs a grandpapa.
I think it shows us how, terrible Jonathan is. I think it just shows us even more how big of a piece of crap this person is. I'm trying to understand when everybody argued with me at the beginning saying, Taylor, you're just too hard on Jonathan. You know what? Just wait. His character is going to get better. It's going to build. It's built into a big pile of piece of shit. That's all it has done. There is nothing positive that you could give me on this episode. I have so many things to point out on why he's a terrible father. I can't wait.
Dude, word to John Cena, Peacemaker, Clark Kent over here, right?
What?
Yeah, they called him Peacemaker, later in the episode.
Oh my God.
That's what they were nodding to, right?
Yeah. It was an acknowledgement of the future. They said 20 years from now, we're going to have them make Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with John Cena.
Cassandra came back from the dead to predict this one.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm trying to think of what's worse, Cassandra episode or this. I'm going to say this.
What? Hourglass? We had Harry the Killer, bro.
What do you mean we had Harry the Killer? Harry the Killer?
The serial killer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm all about it.
Whatever, dude. Look, man.
I'm just kidding. I love Harry and the piano. I just want to say, don't compare that to this. Because, yes, I would choose that episode over this. I don't know what this is. But I do like the correlation because we not only have the predicting of the future, but we also have old people. Because that's a common theme, right? It's about the fountain of youth.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of commonalities here. Look at that. Look what we're doing. All right, so let's go back to what we were talking about, though. Where we got a lot of common factors with the Cassandra episode and this episode. Where it's about kind of the old person being able to want to be youthful. And they have their own methods in order to be able to have that happen. My only thing is, I think they had an idea here. It's just they did not expand it with this episode whatsoever.
Well, remember, we did find out that this was aired after the season 1 finale. So this was meant to be aired earlier in the season.
No, it wasn't, Joseph. Because apparently this is episode 6. So there's no way you have any type of proof of this. Is it maybe because he doesn't have any type of, heat vision? He doesn't have anything of that sort. It's the same old. But if you're telling me that this episode is then before Pete knows that he has powers, then Pete is dumber than anybody else.
Bro, I told you.
No.
Pete sucks.
See, I'm not giving him that. And that's why I think they made the episode, they had to fit it in later on. They go, we can't make Pete look this bad. We just can't. We've done it before. We're not going to do it again.
Bro, you know he sucks. It's okay.
I know he sucks, but that's still not his fault in some of the cases. And this time, this is not his fault. The writers made him too dumb where they go, okay, guys, we got to make it seem like he knows.
It's like, Sam, are you okay with this? Sam Jones, I mean. We're on a first-name basis.
Sam Jones?
The third?
Yeah.
Pete?
He's based off of Sam Jones from Flash? Flash Gordon?
Flash Gordon. Flash!
Is that what we're doing?
No.
No, not that one. Not that
No,
Sam
the
Jones.
Black Sam Jones the third, bro. The one who shows up at the credits in the beginning.
Okay, now you're just yelling at me. I was confused. I'm sorry. I love Flash Gordon, by the way.
Pete Ross.
You ever watch Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Isn't it?
Hey, man, stick your hand in the jar. Ooh.
I just love when Ted just makes fun of it.
No, they don't make fun of it. They honor it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we'll just like include it in their script and whatnot.
Man, let's watch that instead of this.
I'd like that. I'd like that. Yeah. So the episode we're talking about here is what's it even called? Redux.
I don't even. Wait, did you look up the meaning?
Damn, I should look up the meaning, huh?
You have to look up the meaning.
I think I did see something about it. Let's see here. Let's see.
You have to understand the meaning of the show. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Because it has to be something very intellectual, something that we're just not grasping with our common minds. Smallville just thinks above and beyond.
Dude, Redux, brought back, revived. That's the definition of the word.
What?
It's an adjective.
There's not a revived or a brought back moment here.
What do you mean? Rejuvenation kind of thing with Chrissy.
Is that revived?
Kind of.
I don't know if I'm going to call it revived.
And they're trying to Clark's trying to revive the relationship.
Oh God. Oh God. The relationship. Man, I love me some high school drama. What I hate me more than anything is family drama. I think even in Boy Meets World, even in all those sitcoms back in the day, I love being able to watch. I just don't like any of the family issues. I think I just don't care because those become like way too serious. And I focus more of the drama, getting the girl, getting the guy. That's my forte here. That's why I hated Seventh Heaven.
There was a lot of family drama, man. I remember I didn't watch it like that, but when it would come on, I would just notice, I was like, man, this family kind of sucks.
This family sucks, man. They
Well,
got
maybe
too many
say
issues.
the family sucks, or maybe it's just more so what's happening in that household sucks.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way that these kids can have this many problems unless their parents beat them behind closed doors.
So this is technically renamed Redux, the Seventh Heaven Special.
That's what it is, because it's family time. It's family time at the Smallville, and Joseph, I hate it.
Oh, and then also, too, Lana trying to bring back the memory of, her mom or something, whatever this is, or the memory of the picture. But, yeah.
What do you mean memory of the picture, Joseph?
We're
going to get into it.
I lost it, dude.
Don't be any type of spoiler alert, because I'm already excited when we get to jump into that. So don't spoil this for anybody. Just let this happen.
All right, fine. Again, this is a Somebody Save Me podcast, and we're going to get started on Season 2, Episode 6, Redux, a.k.a. Revive. That's what it's basically called.
AKA, you can just skip this if you want to. I mean, this is going to be a very short 20-minute episode.
All right, dude, let's just get it over with. Get it over with.
No, because we're already going to have a pause here soon, too. Don't you worry.
We open up on a swim meet, maybe, or maybe it's like a tryout type of thing, but Clark dives in the water, and he's racing people. And he's clearly smoking everyone because, I'm sorry, wait, he couldn't play football, but he can do this.
So this...
Is it because there's no contact?
By the way, going back to what we were talking about earlier here, and this is where I have to pause. Pete truly believes that he could beat Clark. So that means he has no idea that Clark has powers right now.
Yeah, he said, my foot slipped on the dive, ruined my rhythm.
Yeah, I would have had you otherwise.
What?
And it's supposed to be that Pete was going to win the race because he's a natural swimmer. By the way, beyond anything when it comes to Clark even having abilities, Clark is like double the size of Pete.
Yeah.
Clark is like made to be a swimmer as a 6 foot tall person. Pete, being half of his size, being my height, we're not made to be swimmers. So I'm not sure what the diving off the board was then going to give him some type of advantage.
And they play basketball against each other. So who's winning those basketball games? Maybe it's going back to the original thing, Taylor. You always said this man had confidence.
No.
Maybe he's just really delusional confidence.
Pete for sure doesn't know right now. He for sure doesn't know, and that's why I think before, to your question about the basketball games, he probably beat Clark.
They play just like only games of horse.
Exactly, and it's just Clark having to do jump shots, where if you can remember that Whitney episode, he completely missed everything, and he was just rolling on the ground laughing because he got a boo-boo on his elbow.
Because he loved it so much.
He loved it so much. He loved, oh my God, is
like,
that a bruise?
It's like, I'm like Pete now. So, yes, it's basically what we're going into is that it was confirmed that this episode obviously aired, or it was supposed to air earlier in the season. It was filmed way before this part in I guess the timeline of the season.
Which also makes sense on why Lana would be checking him out in this scene and not still upset with him.
Yeah, why is their relationship so normal right now?
Exactly. See, the episode just doesn't fit with what we have already experienced now in the previous. That's what also our biggest problem with this episode is as well. It doesn't work.
It makes sense to be episode...
It's like Doctor Strange.
Okay, dude. Marvel territory, bro.
I'm sorry.
DC, dude.
Personal.
He feels attacked. He feels attacked by the viewing. But so it's much better as a episode 2 in this season because that summer break, because we're going to talk about the summer thing later, and there's that in between time. So episode 2 would have been perfect for this.
I completely agree. And do you think it's because the first episode you and I even talked about is weak?
Oh,
It's a very weak episode. So at the second episode, wasn't it Heat?
Yep.
Instead of it being Heat, if it would have been this, how upset were you to have been with the start of the Smallville season? You'd have been like, this sucks.
Well, I mean, thinking now and how shows are, usually, I mean, the first episode is supposed to be good, but that one was weak. But there's those shows sometimes where it doesn't really actually get good until the third episode, maybe even fourth.
But my issue too is, with you saying this, the last episode of the previous season wasn't very good. The first episode of season 1 wasn't very good, and you can't have the episode 2 of season 2 be not very good. You have to have a bang, and you know what? They went with the banger with Heat. Somebody made that call with the producers. No. You put it out this week.
I completely get that argument. I get that argument 100%. But they could afford that if they wanted to put it as episode 2 instead of Heat, because they already got renewed.
No.
We got past that first season.
I don't care. No. I wanted the banger.
They could have afforded it.
All right. You know what, though? Going back to the scene, I want to also bring up, though, something else that you pointed out. Joseph, I don't know what class this is, because unless this is some type of tryouts, it can't be a classroom unless the cheerleaders have the same class as the guys, because somehow Lana and this new girl, Chrissy, are making a banner while watching Clark and Pete compete for the swim.
It's weird because
I just don't understand what class they're in.
It doesn't make sense because this isn't a class. Like, no one's teaching anything. They're just sitting there. This has to be some type of literally leisure activity. This has to be not even a school day. That's what it looks like.
Wait. Going back to what we were talking about, which we will bring up later on with the timeline here of this episode, what if this is summer school?
It's summer school or summer tryouts, bro.
What if that's what it is? And that's why they're leaning it in, saying that, it's coming up for prep week.
Because it's like going into the new
I think
semester.
This is summer school.
Dude, can we just go ahead and confirm that this is episode 2 of this season?
Yeah.
Like, we were going to say that.
For sure, because Pete doesn't know,
make sense.
And Lana's still checking him out. Nothing works when it comes to the timeline of what we've already seen. Yes, I agree with you, episode 2.
And then still, even at that moment, it's still more fresh to have Troy now, because we have Troy walk up to Chrissy and Lana, and we're like, oh, hey, season 1 guy.
Yeah. Exactly, and then you have that connection automatically right off the bat. You wouldn't be doing it later on. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But going back to who walked up is now Troy, where this is interesting because he's like, hey, Chrissy, I want my good luck kiss. Like it's something that they do before every meet, before every swim. Because it also seems like to me, by the way, that they've been dating for a while.
Yep. And yeah, if everyone's needing a refresher, Troy is the one who was bullying that blonde girl in Shimmer, and her what was her brother? Yeah, her brother.
Oh, it was
beat the
Hollow
dude up.
Kid.
Hollow Kid.
But it also, that girl deserved to be bullied is what we actually agreed on with that.
This
is that she was a big weirdo, so she deserved to be picked on.
She deserved it?
Yes. Come on, man. She sucked. She's terrible.
Dude, you're a hazer.
I wish she would have become more obsessed with Lex, like something crazier, but no, she was
Yeah,
lame.
like steal his underwear?
Yeah.
Like the dirty underwear.
Wait. Yeah, going into the hamper.
I'm the maid here. I'm the maid. They're mine.
She did do that, though.
Exactly.
Oh
Perfect
my.
excuse. So yeah. So Spirit Week. I mean, we gotta talk about this summer thing.
Yeah,
once it gets
it's
to it. But,
throwing me off, too.
and so yeah, Troy goes and kisses Chrissy, and then is getting ready to go against Clark. Is it just mano y mano here?
No, because Pete should also be in this race as well.
Aggressive.
Be aggressive. Pete should also be in this race because it's a finals where they're trying to make the last meet, I'm assuming, as you could see by the others in the pool.
Yep, they got more.
Now, Troy is just an angry individual where when he starts to swim, he's automatically sinking. He looks like that he is struggling. Something horribly wrong is happening. Clark is an absolute genius where he says, you know what? Nobody's going to be able to see through the top of the water.
Dude.
So let me put a little pause right there.
No one's going to see this man swim like 9-10 feet deep into the pool.
Joseph.
Like, swim fast like he's Aquaman, obviously.
He was on one side of the pool. How did he get to the other side of the pool?
Yeah. No one saw.
How?
Look, I'm telling you, bro, this is just showing how dumb Smallville is. Like, the town, I mean.
He said nobody can see through water. That's what he said. He said nobody's going to be able to do this. And I can make this move because I'm underwater and nobody can see. So I can swim this fast right now. I hate this part.
Wouldn't everyone even just notice, oh, wow, he just dove down. He's just now coming back up with Troy.
Hey, do you ever see a fish through a water? Because I don't. I don't ever see it.
Yeah, it's all like hazy. I can't really tell. The
This
refraction of the water.
Okay, this is supposed to be a farmer town. I know they go fishing. Jonathan was even talking about fishing with Clark and him throwing a hissy fit on how big of a deal it was. So you're trying to tell me that they all wouldn't be able to see? This is what some of them have been trained by their parents to do.
That's true.
It's a bad moment here for me. I hate this episode.
It's in episode 2, bro. It's not episode 6. And so Clark brings up Troy, and
nobody questions it.
Yeah, everyone's freaking out. And then come to find out, oh hey, turn the body over. It's a very old man. It's a very old man. Like, we're talking elderly, and looks like he's passed out. So we're come to assume as the audience, did Troy just speed age?
Okay, so you know what I absolutely hate? Was that part, because whenever I was first watching it and I saw him like go in the pool, I saw him like go in there and save Troy. I was like, okay, I bet he's gonna look crazy. I bet he's gonna look like a fish. I bet something like mutated him into some type of monster. I bet it's gonna be cool. And then he turned him around and he was an old man, and I go, God damn it. I immediately put in my notes, I go, I'm now pissed. This episode is gonna suck.
So what were your first thoughts as like what caused it or who caused it, type of thing? What were your theories there?
Well, okay, so if you really want my original thought, is that it was Chrissy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it was because the only thing that happened before the swim meet was the kiss. So that would have been the only thing that could have occurred. But my other side on why I knew it was Chrissy, Joseph, she is brand new. I've never seen this girl ever in my
Chrissy
entire
who?
life. Yeah, did you know that her and Lana are best friends?
Yeah, cheerleader, former cheerleader.
So she's, by the way, this episode. So what I'm also frustrated with about this, they're making it seem like that Lana is like a retiree. Like that Lana has been there for like
Didn't
years.
she try out for like half a year?
It was half a year and then she quit.
Yeah.
Because she was freshman.
And now I'm going to be enforced to work.
And she's even like helping out Chrissy when it comes to that banner, being like, oh, I forgot how much fun this was. How old are you? You're 15, Lana. I don't know how long you think that you've been working at the Talon, but I'm not buying this like I'm an adult crap that you're trying to sell. I'm done with it.
Wow, dude, really aggressive towards Lana.
You know, she really acts like a retiree, like an alumni in this episode.
She's an alumni of the cheerleading association. She gets those like future invites, like, "Hey, you were once a cheerleader for a semester, and we want you back. You want to be a leader?"
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, because they even going to her for like all the cheerleading stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, make our signs, Lana. That's all you do is work, right?"
That's all you're ever doing, right? Lana, you're always busy all the time. God, Lana, you're such an inspiration to us.
And another thing also with the whole Chrissy thing, because I agree, you immediately think it's probably having to do with Chrissy.
Yeah.
Because the interaction before, but also they just showed her. And what do they tend to do in the first part of the episode before the intro? They always show either the central character of that episode, whether it's a villain or I guess, a good person.
They didn't even try to hide this one. They're not. This episode is lazy all around.
It's an episode 2, bro.
You need to stop. This is episode 6 on the list.
But it's technically episode 2.
It's
you literally just move it up there and just move the rest down. Like Heat is 3. What was after Heat? I can't remember. It was the Pete episode actually.
Which, by the way, was better than what we're watching right now.
Definitely.
But now we're opening up to the Kent farm, which we're having Jonathan running through the checkbook, which is not a great idea.
So what are they eating, Taylor?
Muffins.
What's all over the table?
Muffins.
Well, what are muffins a type of?
Bread.
That's right. This is all they have in the house. Besides that glass of milk and some OJ.
Okay. So I'm going to try to relax. I really am. I'm going to really try to relax in this scene. So what occurs is that which, by the way, I thought you were going to make a joke that Martha comes up and feeds Jonathan her muffin. I thought that a joke like that was coming along from you. No?
No. Typical.
Who are you?
What? I mean, it's cool. It's not. I'm more concerned about the bread, the amount of bread.
All right. So Martha has muffins everywhere on the counter. Clark then walks in. He's like, "Oh, Mom, let me help you. Hey, guys, what seems to be going on?" "Oh, well, guess what, Clark? I was able to add 2 new clients to my muffin list. It appears that everybody is wanting Martha's muffins."
The muffin top.
And I'm not trying to make jokes here. Instead, I'm trying to do this. So let me get this straight. Martha runs the produce. Martha makes the muffins. Martha has a job with Lionel. Martha has 3 separate incomes going into this farm. And yet they are not able to pay the bills. You know what that means,
She
correct?
got salary from Lionel, too.
Oh, shit. Salary from Lionel. She even says that's the only acknowledgement, by the way, that this is later on down the road, is saying my Lionel salary is still not enough. So this woman has 3 separate jobs. What is Jonathan doing to help the farm? Where is Jonathan's income coming from? What the hell does this man do? And also, I'm going to bring this up right now as a spoiler alert because this is going to be about Grandpa talking later on. Grandpa was right. All right? Martha's father was right.
Look, man, don't talk about him yet, okay?
We can talk about however you want to talk about this, but you're going to have to defend this the entire episode. This is awful for me. She has 3 jobs, Joseph.
Hey, man. And then Clark has the other one.
Wait, what is he doing?
All the chores.
Yeah, Jonathan just always acts. All right, but either way, they're going through their financial troubles. And
they can't pay for the feed this month.
Yeah, and they're making it seem like that they're needing to do something.
And Clark's over here just drinking all the milk in the damn house.
He's spoiling it. Martha is then saying, "You know what? We need to call my father. Maybe he's going to be able to help us." And this is now where we get to the introduction of the grandfather. And we already have problems where it makes Jonathan uncomfortable, as we can see. Here's the problem I also have. Jonathan now has 2 men in his life that he just hates, that will both provide him money. Lionel will do it, Lex will do it, And now we have a third with Martha's father that will also provide money for them.
That's right.
But Jonathan has a problem with every single one of them, where Jonathan will refuse to save his farm for his own pride. He is a moron. He is the worst. He is the real villain.
I think he hates other people with more money than him. Because notice
I'm gonna go on.
Notice
so
he
many
ain't
rants.
asking the people. I mean, no one's offering who's got money. You know what I mean? Like a lot of money, or maybe like the same as him. No one's asking him if he needs help. It's always the rich ones.
Lex.
Maybe he just feels like he's being belittled, bro.
Hey, remember when he handed Lex his check back? Bet he needs it now, right?
Hey, Lex, nice field. I don't want your check. Can't really tell you why, but whatever you're doing here just smells like Luther. And I don't want your check. Come on, Clark.
And now she doesn't want Martha's father's check because it smells like what? Grandpapa?
Grandpapa?
Because it smells like that. That means that I don't want it because he hates me, so I hate him. I'm beginning to think there's a correlation on why everyone hates Jonathan.
And see, we also need to talk about this. Let's ease off of John a bit because he's going to get it more later.
Are you kidding?
He's going to get it more later. We got to ease up now, dude. We can't dig in deep now, and then we have no material left over.
Are you kidding me? I have plenty material to go.
But Clark, this is the beginning stages of his crybaby acts again in this episode. My goodness. I've never seen a almost 16-year-old cry for a relationship with a grandpa he's never met. Why does everyone always get so awkward when they talk about granddad? And everyone's like, gosh, shut up, Clark. You know nothing about the bad blood. That's what happened in the Ken house today.
All right. So I love that we are both coming into this episode with different sides of hatred. I think there's a very common thing of how we feel towards this episode, but I like that it's coming from two different angles.
Yeah.
I like that we're attacking this.
Plus,
two different
everyone's
ways.
just angry in this episode, kind of. They're just throwing temper tantrums. Why can't we do it?
That's very true. And by the way, with the next scene now, we have Clark coming in and drop Martha's muffins off because once again they are a hit. He's dropping them off at the Talon. Where once again, to your point, we have somebody else that's throwing hissy fit.
Dude, okay, wait, pause real quick.
I got this.
Because
I got this.
we got to talk about, too, wasn't Martha supplying the pies at one point?
Yes.
Dude, is she baking the entire town shit?
Yes.
Too much bread.
Well, yeah, so obviously...
This is why they're paying people in bread. I would have left, too. I would have lost my mind there.
You're already a liar. Because you even said that you would take the 2 loaves.
Because, damn, you got me on pies, bro.
You'd take the 2 loaves per day. And if she started doing pies and then muffins, dude, you'd be making out like a bandit each and every single time you'd work for the Kents.
Just go steal some butter or some preservatives or something.
All you
some
need.
Cheeses.
You know
Make
what?
my own cheese.
I'm probably going to work for the Kents myself these days. But
Let's hit them up tomorrow.
I'm glad that you brought up the pies. That's another thing that Martha does, Joseph. Mm-hmm. So
she is the town's baker.
She bakes all the goods, too.
It's so funny. Everyone really knows all the Kents, and I get to know why, because they do everything apparently.
Well, no.
Except John.
I think what everyone in the entire town of Smallville has realized is that Martha is a saint.
Yeah.
And that Jonathan is the worst piece of crap that we're just going to have to stay away from. But if we ever want to talk to the Kents, we're going to call Martha. Same reason why the school calls them. Guess who they always want to talk to?
Martha.
Not Jonathan.
Dude, they tell the tales of the town history. It's like, the Kents were just an okay family until Martha came around. It wasn't until John, that piece of crap that he was, found a nice, wholesome metropolis woman who thought it'd be a good idea to marry him.
He trapped her.
And guess what? It made the town so much better.
Yeah, without her, the town fails. Yeah, there's no other way to put it.
Martha for town mayor.
Yeah, they would be living back in the old ages. In order to be able to survive, because like what you said, she is the baker, she is the produce, so she supplies the vegetables, she supplies the bread, she supplies the sweets, she supplies it all. She's Mother Goose.
Dude, granny goodness.
Yeah. But let's go back to the
we're going
Lana
back to
problem.
because we're going to start talking about Lana, who we said is throwing the tantrum now.
Lana has also her own issue in this episode. It seems there's a family resemblance of her mother being a whore, just like Nell and herself. It seems that the women in this family have the same commonality of just wanting to torture men. So Lana ends up finding pictures of her mother with another man through the projector office because Nell loved to store all of her crap there, and Lana had to clean it out. Found these pictures. She's devastated. She doesn't know this man.
Yeah, she's noticing the dates are conflicting with the timeline of her parents being married or together. And so Clark's like, that sucks.
Do you... Okay, so...
It's not a big deal.
I was going to add... That's what I was really going to ask.
Deal.
She is completely, like, going so crazy about these photos... And I just don't know if it is that big of a thing where I'm going to throw this type of... Who is this? Who is this, Clark? Maybe it's just a friend, Lana. Yeah, maybe you're right.
What is going to happen when you find out whatever this info is? They're dead. Your parents have been dead. So what?
By the way, I kind of agree with you. Because I would just kind of toss them. And I would be like, I don't really care. I don't want to remember my mother that way. I'm just not even going to look at like that type of past.
Yeah, that case, like I would say that's probably the more emotional part of it, but I'd be like more interested in like, oh yeah, who actually is this? So like maybe I could find out this person and get more stories about my mom.
Oh, no, man. Curiosity killed the cat. That's my motto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
It is a nice philosophy.
Again, really, and this is where I agree with my man Lex here. Him and I have the same type of premise of this. Pandora's box is a real thing.
He does say that later.
I put it in my notes. I go, this is a situation.
I love how Clark, because Lex just kind of butts in.
I love it. He just comes in.
And Clark's just like, yeah, this mystery man with Lana's mom. And he's just smiling, and then Lana's like, yeah.
Well, he goes, they look like an attractive couple. And he's like, or maybe they're just friends. There's a million other possibilities that it could be.
Yeah,
weirdo.
Like, yeah, because she makes a weird face.
To Clark, like, see, Clark, see.
Clark, did you what he said? Shut up. She's not working. She's never working. She's there, and then, dog, you notice how she says she has her 2 periods off? She has her first 2 periods off.
No. Hold on. She says it right here because I was also going to bring this up. Because
what does Lex offer to do or something? Like, we're going to go, he offers to go somewhere?
Well, it's this simple, Joseph, because she first, for her to settle down, she finally realizes, hey, I should probably use my head and ask Nell first before freaking out, because Nell would probably know who this person is, right? It would make the most sense.
Yeah.
So let's start doing that before throwing the tantrums, where then Lex says, okay, perfect, mystery solved. So who needs a ride to school? Anybody?
That's what it was. Yeah.
And she immediately says, oh no, I'm good. I've got the first 2 periods off as a sophomore in high school.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Unless we're in summer school.
But summer school doesn't have periods. Summer school was truly like a half day. I've been to summer school before.
Like in high school?
Yeah, even in high school.
Then you'd know. I have no idea.
Dude,
I can't say anything.
Listen, I'm an idiot. Okay? So, listen, we've talked about this. I would be going to Smallville High. No, this is why I relate to the characters.
Dude, why would you say that? You're so smart.
No, dude, keep talking about how intelligent you are.
Yeah, you're really smart. You solve all the problems. You know?
I do. I'm better than you. But yes, I've been in summer school to the point of there's no periods. So that's already weird for me on us establishing this should be summer school, but the periods thing does not make sense. And by the way, you wouldn't even have that as a sophomore.
You wouldn't. No, it takes till senior year to do that, man. Yes. You can't even do that as a junior.
Unless, so I have a theory on it, though. Lex made the call. Lex put in some type of like pass or something to the previous principal, to the previous school board, because saying that she is like managing the talent. I was
gonna say, isn't there like maybe a work school comp type schedule?
And that's what I mean.
I've heard of that before, actually.
Never this young though. To what we're talking about, never this young. Yeah, whenever they were older, yes, it would happen in high school, but not now.
Maybe it's different employment laws.
Really? 15 years old?
We're going to really go down the rabbit hole.
15 years old, huh?
Maybe it's employment laws.
I forgot Lana's an alumni.
She's 15 years old, so maybe it's legal to work.
15-year-old alumni, huh?
Yes. Hey, you try to say Chloe had the torch for 7 years.
Hey, I had an argument in the first season. In this season, I don't have anything with Chloe to be able to stand by, so it absolutely devastates me that I don't have any type of argument to come back with. I'm hopefully going to be able to get those arguments, but right now, Joseph, you got me.
And so, yeah. So we just get back,
I do
back
love
to that little hump of, oh, yeah, first 2 periods. I'm like, okay, cool.
Clark, what were you going to do? You need a ride? No, I was going to...
It's going to run.
And he, like, does, like, a little winky face. Like, what?
It was weird. It's like a little, like, oh, yeah, they don't know I can run really fast. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I was just going to run. He's like, you're just run faster than my Porsche.
What I just love is, let's Clark, get in the car.
And you know what sucks? How dare you offer a ride and you still cause him to be late?
Why? Did you not see him speeding? Obviously, he was already late because he had to talk about Lana and her mother's boyfriend problems. That's the only reason why he's late to school. Obviously, Lana doesn't care because she has first period off.
Imagine it's like 9 a.m. Or no, sorry. School starts at 9, right?
Yes.
What if he walked into town at 8:55 and no one questions these type of things? Like, oh.
No. Well, yeah, maybe. Did we establish it was 9 a.m.? Because I thought with Pete's episode, with him showing up so early to Clark's house, we go, how early is he there?
Well, we don't know how early school starts.
I still think it's 10, 11 a.m.
Bro, if they're still up before 9 doing all those extracurriculars that could take hours to do, bro, they're up at 7.
Hey, are you ready for the next plot hole, though? With him arriving at school with the principal. And the principal we have now met, he is the new one, Mr. Reynolds. And he has locked the gate. And he has now established the rules of that nobody, once this gate is locked, is going to be able to come into the school. How is Lana going to get in if she has the first 2 periods off? Wouldn't they have that recorded somewhere?
You know what's crazy? Is like, you could just put your leg over the gate and hop over.
Well, where am I going to park?
Um,
They drive. You got to remember that.
Maybe she has a key.
Okay, she probably has that ability. She worked out something because otherwise this new principal doesn't know what he's doing because he's locking students out that have passes to be off campus.
So, yeah, he runs into Clark. Obviously, Clark is late, and Mr. Reynolds has already given him a hard time because of his tardiness, because Clark Kent has that reputation. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The reputation of people he saves every day, every week, out of tornadoes.
I read your file, Clark. I know that you have that tendency to be tardy.
He literally said, Clark, I've read your file. I know about you. Not impressed. Not impressed. I think you could do better. What?
All right, so to fit...
I could literally knock you out with a slap of my hand.
So to fit the timeline, I'm actually going to give the principal a pass here for being like this to Clark. And you know why? It's because of what we talked about. Since this is episode 6, I'm going to fit it for episode 6. Remember that last principal that we saw? I'm going to assume that was the vice principal. Remember when Clark came up to him and was like, yeah, I think how you dress sucks compared to Jesse. You know what that vice principal did with Mr. Reynolds? Hey, Clark's been like having some attitude lately. You probably want to set him straight before he gets on the wrong path. And that's why Mr. Reynolds is now coming down hard, because Clark was a dick with the red kryptonite.
Another Taylor theory.
Well, I'm fitting it in the season timeline where it gives me that argument.
I guess it works, bro. Whatever you say.
You know what? It's not even a theory.
It's just a solid argument, dude. Okay. It's
all right.
Thank
you. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, you ever heard of Excelsior Prep School?
No. Have
Pretty
you?
Cool name, huh?
Yeah. It's almost like it fits into another universe.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing there?
But you said I'm not allowed to talk about them.
So, we obviously have Lex coming out of the car to kind of plead a case with the principal. Hey, can you give him a pass this time? It's my fault.
You immediately knew that he knew the principal, though. Because he got out of the car. You, like, recognized him. He's like, oh, yeah.
Well, I feel like he'd get out anyways.
No.
Just to explain it. Like, because if he saw the principal was giving him a hard time, he'd be like, hey, sorry, it's my fault.
No.
My bad.
He wouldn't care. He'd probably drive off.
But get this. They know each other. He was his principal at Excelsior Prep School when he was 14. And looks like there's some bad blood with him and the Luthers.
So he's now going in to where he's like, just like a Luther, to be able to show up late, to not have any type of remorse on being able to make mistakes. Seems like you haven't changed. I don't want you to be able to rub off on our member here, Clark Kent. Just go away, Lex. So there's, like to what you said, bad blood between them. Here's my issue with that. I immediately put down in my notes, okay, Lionel got him fired.
Yep.
I immediately put in there.
I put like Lionel definitely caused this whole problem.
Because there's no way that he would be the principal of a prep school and then the alternative school. And if you're dropping that far down, the only reason why, Lionel did something.
For sure. And he even confirms, because Chloe talks about some stuff here soon, but we get a glimpse of Chrissy again at school.
With Mr. Reynolds.
With Mr. Reynolds, but she's looking in her locker mirror, noticing wrinkles around her eyes. Really bad wrinkles that a 15-year-old should not have. Oh, hey, we just confirmed she is the villain.
Oh, we confirmed that? Are you sure? I thought we confirmed that after the very first scene, because we've never seen her before.
Dude, you never know. You never know.
And now Mr. Reynolds is going and walking her through the hallway saying, hey, I know you're a transfer student, but I don't have any of your transcripts. I don't have anything of your previous school. Who the hell are you?
I love that. He's like, yeah, he did it in the nicest way possible.
He did
He's
it
like,
in a very
hey,
nice way.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but I have no idea who you are. Please have your parents contact me. And she's like, yeah, sure thing. Like, call them anytime.
You can't just show up at school with no paperwork and for me to just say, oh, hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Who are? What?
No, it's dope. You could do that. She just put on a visitor pass one day and just stayed around long enough to where she just slowly removed it. And then they were like, oh, yeah, she goes here. I've seen her a lot.
Hey, can I see your class schedule? Huh?
But see, the thing is, too, think about this. He's asking for the transcripts, right? How is this not taken care of because Lana knows her pretty well?
Well, okay, so this is why. Obviously, because this is an alternative high school. The people in charge usually don't give a damn about the kids. They're already at a rundown school. They really don't care. They're lazy about any type of paperwork.
I will kind of agree with that.
Mr. Reynolds coming in as that old school prep guy. He's coming in to clean up this alternative middle school. He's trying to make these kids now model citizens. Because if you can't tell by the parents, this town has gone to shit with some personalities.
Yeah, dude, there's probably some ankle monitors walking around there.
Exactly. So he's going to try to make this into something. Mr. Reynolds...
I think Mr. Reynolds is probably my favorite part of this episode.
Well, he's pretty much the Rock coming back and walking tall.
That's right.
That's what he is right now.
I'm the sheriff. I'm the new sheriff.
And you're all fired.
That's right.
That's what he does.
I'll hire Johnny Knoxville as my right-hand man.
Is that Clark? That's why he wants him to write a paper.
I like you, Clark. You show a lot of potential as a sidekick.
Joseph, did you want to get to the paper here?
Yes.
The paper
so we
scene.
go to the torch after Chrissy and Reynolds' conversation, and we have confirmed that Troy has made the Wall of Weird because Troy has been confirmed dead. He is now on the Wall of Weird, and we're going to start... It dies of mysterious causes. That's what it says on the ledger, Smallville ledger.
And now we even have Pete going, oh, I guess this must be for the unexplained, for the bizarre. So what do we think happened here? A rapid aging disease known as progeria is what Clark thinks, because Clark already knows about that type of disease. How does Clark know? Is he a biology major?
Dude, Clark is the smartest idiot. I don't understand. Because he has these random spurts of like genius, and then he has the dumbest moments ever.
I don't think... Okay, so I think that he's really good with science and math, and he's terrible with writing papers in English. That's what I'm going to assume when it comes to Clark Kent.
It's because he's not... he doesn't express himself emotionally, dude. It's a writer's block, It's like you get like blue balls or something.
And once again, going back to your earlier point, Clark is in the torch office throwing another hissy fit being, the principal doesn't like me.
I showed up late, which is kind of bad, but he got mad at me.
And Chloe and Peter completely laughing at him, being like, dude, just because he doesn't think you're the best person in the world is not the end of the world,
Oh, he's
dude.
like, yeah, good boy Clark. Someone doesn't like him.
Yeah, like, calm down. And Clark is even, like, trying to throw him under the bus, being like, you know what? I bet he's like Quan. Hey, Chloe, he's like Quan. I bet he's going to hate your paper. Your paper sucks.
Yeah,
he's not going to like it.
You already mentioned Torch kind of blows.
Yeah, just want to let you know, whenever he's like punishing me outside, he said, you know what, I can't wait to shut her ass down.
Chloe gets to confirm here, though, the kind of
She
background of
actually
Reynolds.
And she's not just assuming it, because Clark just wants somebody on his side when he's throwing this little temper tantrum.
Love how proactive she is. She already did her research on the principal to just find out about him.
She can't have another Quan scenario.
He's like, oh, God, who's the new principal? Dude, is this one going to die, too?
Is he a murderer as well?
So she does her background on Reynolds, and come to find out, this is where we kind of get the assumption that Lionel pretty much screwed him over, because he had, PhD at Columbia, graduated from Harvard, like just a regular grad, and just, had all these prep schools as principal, but he got shafted at one point until he resurfaced in good old Smallville.
Hey, you think there's any correlation between like him like hating Lex and like him ending up in Smallville?
No.
No,
No,
man, it's a mystery still. So now we're jumping back to the Talon, where Clark is showing up, and Lana is going through in her own head her own issues about her mother, because Nell is like, I don't know. Nell is really not going to tell her whatsoever, and Clark is then bringing up his problems. I know what you mean. I feel like I'm not understanding my own problem with the Grandpapa, and my parents having this issue of me not even meeting him. I don't even know who this man is. It's really, really weird that he is this hurt by the Grandpapa at this point in his life. He could have been this way so much sooner, and all of a sudden he cares.
Yeah, and Lana's over here just trying to find out, and we're just spilling the beans. He was a big lawyer in Metropolis. Like, I just really want to know him and get his money.
What?
What if that was just like in the back of his head the whole time? It's like, we need the money.
I need to save this farm.
Come on, Grandpapa. Give me the cash.
I can't keep fixing everything. I can't keep
He like goes and he's like, Grandpa, it's me, Clark. I hate it there. Please, just give us some money. Please.
I gotta keep turning that dough in the bread.
You can punch me if you want for payback at John.
Just do it. Remember when I called you when I was in the 6th grade and I left you a bunch of messages and you never got back to me? I'm gonna let all of that go. God, he's bringing this up to Lana. Once again, this is another pity party from another member of this group. God, this is bothering me.
Yeah, you know what's actually cool about this episode right now, at least in this scene, we get to see the theater part of the Talon, like all spruced up and whatnot.
I thought they were showing anime movies. Instead, they're planning on prep
Dude, that
week.
was like a weird phase they went through, okay? The Bebop Thursdays.
I would rather have that on the screen than what they're planning on doing, which is who is going to show up to the auditorium in order to watch the cheerleaders do a little dance? Is this it's going to be parents. But the parents are terrible in this town, so they're not even going to show up. In fact, nobody is going to be there.
Except Nell.
No, except the jocks and the cheerleaders. It's the only people that are going to show up because they're required to.
Dude, this is like the weirdest event and weirdest timeline. It's just the vibes are off, man.
Don't worry, Nell showed up because Clark immediately says, don't worry, at least one of us are going to be able to try to get our answers here. Nell is very excited.
Looking hot as ever.
She is looking good. And she is looking around, and she is saying, I love what you've done with the place. I can't believe it. You've grown so much. Lana then brings out the picture, and this is where she said, you better explain this right now, Nell.
Who the hell is this white guy?
I need to know. It may have been just one of your mom's old boyfriends. I don't know. They were taken after my dad and mom were married, Nell.
Just
so tell
a year
me the
before
truth.
I was born.
Oh, my God.
Dude. Who cares?
Why is this a big deal?
If I was Clark, this is where I would be like, just let it go. Let go of the past. Tell her again. She clearly hasn't learned. This is literally Redux. This is Revive, okay? Clark just needs to tell her again, hey, Lana, just let it go. All that stuff sounds like it sucks.
Well, and the thing is, Nell's even explaining to what you're even mentioning. It's like, okay, listen, Lana, no matter what, your parents wouldn't do anything to hurt you. No matter what, they loved you. Lana's like taking this as like a personal blow. Like, I've never seen this guy before. Who the hell is this man? You were 9 years old when they died.
And it's just doing the same thing again when Lex mentioned it earlier. Oh, yeah, like, look like an attractive couple. And she was like, what? And so Nell goes, oh, it must be one of your mom's old boyfriends. What? No, that's what Lex said. And then, I don't know. It's really just unnecessary. Truly unnecessary.
I'm tired of the hissy fits being thrown because they're not even serious fights in this episode. That's the other problem that we have. It's not even really motion. It's just, it's like throwing hands up and it's like a whining nonstop. And I just wish that there was some type of serious moment. But it's like what we've talked about too. What really keeps going from this episode? What continues on from what we find out in this episode?
History repeating itself, dude. That's the theme.
Okay, that's not a theme. It's not what I'm saying.
That's the theme, dude.
There's nothing that continues, is there?
Maybe not. It's a mystery.
There's no mystery. Oh my god. Grandpapa. We are now back at the Kent house. That grass is looking greener than ever.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's insane. Car pulls up, and guess who gets out?
Grandpapa.
And he is wearing that suit, and he is ready to go.
Do you actually say his name in this?
I don't know. She just calls him Dad, so I don't.
And they keep saying Grandpa, Granddad. I don't think John says his name.
I don't want to call him Daddy. Do you?
Daddy Kent. Or no, what's her maiden name?
I don't know her maiden name. Did you look this up?
Oh, dude, gotta find out now. But no. We got Grandpa here. And, of course, Martha's spilling the beans like, yeah, it's just a struggle right now, and we need some money. And she's like, or he confirms, yeah, told you so. Just like I thought and said.
And Martha's even trying to explain to her father now, Dad, listen, you need to relax. I love it here. This is where I've spent my life. Her father comes back to her saying, look, you could have been in any law school. You would have been able to take over my firm. I've always wanted more for you. Martha then comes back to him saying, listen, I didn't want to be a lawyer. I love being able to choose what I'm doing now. I love Jonathan. I'm happy with my choice. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, because her father even throws in her face, which I agree with, oh yeah, so that's why you're coming to call me now for money. Martha's dad was right about everything.
I mean, he was.
It's not even he's being wrong and an asshole. I keep going back to, and I'm going to throw this out there to you. I truly have a problem because I want your mindset. Coming from Grandpapa. If you have a daughter and she's Martha.
Right.
And she is top of her class. She is everything. She's TA, looking over a professor's paper, doing law schools, has the entire world out in front of her. And she finds a dumbass by the name of Jonathan, who is, by the way, a dick, automatically, and not respectful, because Jonathan is the guy that's like, no, you got to give respect to earn respect.
That's right.
Instead of showing up and being respectful automatically to her father, Jonathan is that stubborn guy automatically. If you're the dad of Martha, you're going to be like, okay, fuck this guy. You are never, ever going to want your daughter to end up like this. You're just not. And that's why I'm trying to make him out to be a bad person, but I can't, because I would be the same way with my daughter. I'd be like, my daughter had that much potential? Holy no, I'm pissed now.
And he's bitter. He's bitter about it for sure.
How could I not be? In fact, I think he's holding it together.
Honestly,
much more than I would.
He'd probably be... He might be trying to punch Jonathan right now.
If I ended up being right, Joseph, think about that. And they're calling me for money. Oh my God. I would tear so much ass up.
Yeah, beat up Clark, right?
Yeah, because Clark then just, oh no. He runs home because he just suspected that Grandpapa was going to show up and he just wanted to see him.
I have a really nice feeling. It was like in Harry Potter when he was like... I just have a really good feeling, like Hagrid's is the place to be right now. Oh, my house seems like the place to be right now. I'm gonna go see my mom.
Oh,
Mom,
hey, Grandpapa!
Mom, I'm home early. Oh, who's that?
Who is that? Hey, what's up? He's like so out of breath and he just runs up. He's like so out of breath and so excited. Where he's...
You know what I don't like, though? I don't like his reaction on seeing Clark.
Okay, so
Why wouldn't he be happier?
All right, so we're not going to get into it yet here, but what I put in my notes, because he then says, all right, I'll be at my motel, I'll see you guys later. To your point, freaked out. I put in my notes, I thought that he knew about Clark's abilities.
Yeah, it's
I thought
weird.
that Martha told him that he was an alien or that he came from space, and that's why he was so freaked out by him. And that's why he was like, what are you?
I don't like his reaction at all.
It looks like that it's an alien.
Yeah.
That he knew. That he's in shock of who he is.
Prejudice against aliens.
That's fine, but again, he doesn't know.
And of course, Clark is looking more desperate than ever. Hey, Granddad, why don't you stay for dinner? Big happy family? And all he says is like, sorry, I'll be at the motel. And then Martha's even shaking her head like, Clark, give it a rest.
She's
dude.
like, Clark,
give it a rest.
You idiot, you just made us look bad. He's probably not going to leave any money
Don't
out.
pull the desperate card, Clark.
God. That's why I didn't want you to be home. Who told you he was going to be here?
I'm going to go get Jonathan.
I'm going to get the belt
And look,
myself.
he just looks all sad on the porch as he walks Grandpa away.
And Grandpapa is just now walking away. Clark looks completely devastated. They're going up to happy-go-lucky Jonathan fixing a tractor.
They go tell Jonathan about the interaction.
Do you want to take this scene? Because if I take this scene, I'm going to go off. You want me to go off?
No.
No, I'm going to go off.
Dude, all we get is just them telling the story about what just happened with John. And then we get the story, the real story of what John did to deserve this bad blood between Grandpapa.
All right, I'm going to get into it. So, once again, going back to what I've asked you about if this is your daughter. So, your daughter is coming to you, and this is where Jonathan is telling the story on why there was a falling out. Your daughter came to you, Martha, saying, hey, I'm now getting married to Jonathan. Her dad then saying, haha, no, seriously, that can't be the case. Whatever, you do whatever you want. Martha and Jonathan finally continuously go forward with it. Her father realizes, oh shit, this is happening. And that's when him and Jonathan start having a talk where Jonathan goes up and asks for her hand in marriage.
Yep.
His blessing. And her father responds with, I don't want my daughter to marry some farmer hick. I want you to go fuck yourself. And Jonathan immediately says, okay, fine. They still proceed with the wedding, and right before the wedding, they have another talk, and Jonathan punches him in the face. And that is where they no longer spoke after that moment, and it's been 20 years since.
That's right.
Joseph, I want you to understand something. So my daughter had all the potential in the world. Chose a man who was a farmer who did not have anything to be able to take care of her.
Chose a man that punched her dad.
Chose a man that, when having the conversation with her father, could not understand where her father was coming from and to try to be able to prove himself and it'd be like, you know what, I'm going to change your opinion about me. Instead, he says, you're going to accept me, you old ass, and I'm going to be able to tell you what the rules are now.
Your daughter's mine.
And he then hits him in the face.
That's right. Show him who's boss.
Joseph, I am so disgusted on every single level. Like, I'm trying to contain myself as being able to describe this
No
scene.
one can defend John in this episode. For all the John fans out there, there's no way you can defend him. Not in this one. Nope. Anything else we could maybe hear you out on? Not this one.
And you know what my issue with it more than anything?
With Clark?
Is... Okay, no, I'm not
But Dad, that was 20 years ago. It's okay now, right?
Listen, I know...
God damn it, Clark, shut up about Grandpa.
I love it so much, though. I already know what your grandfather's here to do, Clark. He's not here to help. He's here to gloat. Now fix up the tractor.
Yeah,
Throws the tape at Clark's in. This is your job to fix it, you bitch.
Dude, the audacity,
of this man.
Clark, shut up about Grandpa. Who cares about this stuff? He's gonna gloat. Here's the tape. Do my chores. I'm going inside. I need a beer.
I'm getting a beer and I'm watching the shark.
Martha, tell me you saved some muffins.
I only had that one bite.
I don't care what I'm watching on TV. I'm not doing chores.
I've had a lot going on today.
Man, John's life sucks so much. He brings it upon himself.
He sucks so much. And by the way, this is why he does more than anything. As a man who is married, even if I felt like I was in the right, in all honesty, unless he was doing something to my wife, I would be a man and I would suck up any type of pride that I would have. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. I just want a better position with us, our relationship. I want you to be able to be in your daughter's life. I want you to be able to be in my son's life. Now that he has control over his abilities, I have nothing to worry about. Instead, it's, no, we're not ever going to talk to him. Screw that old man. I'm never going to apologize for anything. You want to know why? Because I'm always right, because my name's Jonathan. I hate him. I hate him.
You know what's funny? Martha's maiden name was Clark.
Son of a bitch.
Martha Clark.
Oh my God.
She was a Clark, dude.
That's
And
amazing.
Dad's name is William.
By the way, we're going to look like jackasses for not knowing that automatically.
Should we know that?
I don't know, because that's
Why-
probably why he was named Clark.
Tell me, okay, it's fine if you want to be that fan and know all the shit and the background info of every character, but dude, I'm not going to give someone grief. Hey, you know Martha Kent's maiden name? Tell me.
Say it.
Yeah, say it. Bet you won't ever guess. Honestly, would you guess Clark?
By the way, that's what I would act like. I would act like that like a million times.
Would you guess her maiden name is Clark?
But it's what he's named after.
Lazy. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, they
Hey,
had to...
why don't we put Clark as
By
her
the way,
last name?
they had to think on the spot. He was 10 when they got him.
Why don't we name him your last name? Oh, dope.
Genius.
And now we get to see the rehearsal of Spirit Week, the rally, whatever the performance is for the cheerleaders. And Lana called in Lex to the theater at the Talon.
I already knew what this was about, too.
I'm going to use Lex's power and money.
Hey, Lex, I just invited you out here because, hey, here's an envelope. I need you to find this guy. Okay, go do it for me. Bye. The muffins are on the counter.
And this is when he specifies the whole Pandora's box thing. Like, hey, you ever heard of this story? Well, Zeus gave this mortal a box or whatever.
Well, are you sure that you want to go down this road? Mm-hmm. Are you sure that you want me to find out who this person is? Because once you find out these things, good or bad, there's no going backwards.
You're opening up a whole case of worms here.
And this is what's going to occur. And that's what you and I talked about, though. You and I talked about how, why would I want to fall down that deep hole? Because it seems like, and this is what my issue, too, with it, she's immediately thinking this guy could be my father. My mother slept around.
Look, dude, you even just with that, bro, you could just maybe guess that it could be a family picture. What if it was a sibling?
No, man, you're not doing that.
Yeah, dude.
He's like laying on top of her in one of the photos. There is no laying on top of one of my siblings. Are you kidding me?
You never done that with Sarah?
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You ever do that with one of your brothers?
Yes.
Yeah, you lay on top of one of them?
That's
Not both
right.
of them, one of them.
That's right. I'm the little brother, dude. I could do stuff like that.
Show me that photo.
All right.
All right, I want that photo.
Remember I did that to you at your what was it?
That doesn't
your
count,
wedding.
though.
Yeah, I
That's
was right
to
on
me.
top of you, dude. I laid on you.
That doesn't count, though.
And I humped you.
That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
Dude.
I'm not your brother. I'm not your sibling.
What does it take? Penetration, dude?
The argument is the sibling, which is what I was going for.
Nah, I'm sure you and Sarah got like a picnic pic, just lollygagging, being siblings, being best buds.
Of her punching me and me like hitting her, like giving her a frogger in the
Yeah,
leg, like just hit
Putting
her.
your ass in her face.
No, I didn't do that.
Oh, wow. Untapped potential you have there.
Well, I don't do that, man.
Okay.
I don't show any type of ass.
Where do we get to go to next time here?
We are back at the Torch. where now we are figuring out kind of the rules and the regulations of the background history of Reynolds. And this is where she is saying, hey, guess what? Reynolds is going to be by here soon, Clark. You should probably get out of my office. We're going to have a meeting because we're going to then go through to make sure he's okay with whatever the Torch is writing at this point.
Yeah.
She also says, hey, I have an ME friend. You know that one guy who's the only gothic kid in Smallville?
Black fingernail polish and lipstick. Clark was like, yeah.
Yeah, how could I ever forget that guy? Oh, well, it's hard being the only goth in Smallville.
He sent the autopsy of Troy, and I want you to pause when they show it.
All right, no, that's completely
Try pausing
fine.
now.
All right.
This is where we confirm, at this point, the timeline of this episode and how it's a plot hole and it makes everything so stupid and how it should technically be episode 2 of this season. Troy Turner's autopsy report. Date of death is June 20th, 2002. And Clark even states, I don't know if it's now or later, but he states, oh yeah, Troy died 3 days ago. This guy just died today. So it's obviously a thing. So something like that. A little minor spoiler there. But this is in the summer. School should not be happening unless it's summer school.
Unless it's summer school. Because
But everyone has it?
But they haven't been to class. No one's been to class.
So what kind of school is this?
They're all just getting ready for school. They're all prepping for school. Because school doesn't start till August. So you got to prep for it in June.
This is the dumb.
Dude, I got nothing.
It's a severe plot hole.
Yes.
But it makes sense with some of the things going on.
I agree with you. When it comes to people not knowing, when it comes to reactions and certain interactions between, yes. It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
And why wouldn't we have the heat wave from episode 2?
I told you we would have it.
Like after this.
Yes.
It'd be a July heat wave or something.
Maybe.
What, July's not hot enough?
I don't know, because are you saying that then the health class or the biology was in summer school as well? Is that what you're saying? There's no way that teacher shows up at summer school.
Hey,
you kidding me? There's no way.
She needed a quick buck, bro.
That's not a quick buck. Oh, yeah, that's right. She lost all of her finances.
.coms.
Through .coms.
Failed.coms.
Failed.coms. Not even normal. She didn't invest in a Yahoo.
You want to explain the whole Troy autopsy report? Because they talk about his pituitary gland.
Yes, because that gland produces the hormone that controls the aging process, where it ended up being completely drained. So his progeria theory of that disease causing the aging was completely wrong. Instead, it was this gland being absorbed where then it caused, you could say, I'm trying to think of where it's like you're soaking out somebody's DMT, where you're soaking out like a pure essence of somebody and making it your own, which is why what I was hoping for with what Chrissy is a witch, where this is just her being able to just control, and it's like a once bitten thing too with Jim Carrey and the Vampire Woman, where she needs a virgin. There's a lot of connections with that.
Yeah, and it's like someone just sucked the youth right out of him.
But don't worry.
Sucker.
Principal Reynolds then comes, and while she is saying this, you would think he's going to be bothered by it. Chloe then becomes nervous, and she's just saying, oh, I was just running through the different scenarios. This wasn't for real.
And this is where Reynolds shows himself to be the man. He says,
I like
as long
it.
as you can provide proof of this stuff, valid arguments and things, post it. I think this is badass stuff here.
He's like, I loved going through the earlier issues of The Torch and being able to see kind of the theories, kind of the weirdness of what you were writing about. Chloe is looking there just so happy. Clark is looking there going, shit, she likes him.
Damn it, no, I don't want my friends to like him. He doesn't like me.
I need somebody on my side.
How desperate is Clark? My God.
So desperate for this.
Oozing with desperacy.
Where then Reynolds can even check, and he says, hey, Chloe, we're going to have that interview in a half hour, but before then, I need to tear Clark ass a new one.
That's right.
So, Clark, you're going to come to my office here, and then we're going to have a little sit down.
Yeah, and Clark is so awkward in this.
He's like rubbing his face when walking through the door, being like, oh no, people are going to see me walking in the principal's office.
He's acting like he's getting arrested.
Oh, you ever go to the principal's office?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not.
Whenever I'd walk out, I would do like, hey.
You're the worst person. That's why you were there.
Yeah, I was there like all the time.
And so, of course, this whole conversation starts going into, again, with the tardiness, his zero extracurriculars, and how pretty much Reynolds is just saying, you have untapped potential here. What's the deal?
All right, so do you agree with this conversation, yes or no?
I think maybe on the surface for like the general population, yeah, Clark could probably do more, like extra more, like do like what Chloe's doing with the wild theories, getting stuff to back it up and whatnot, like actually trying to do something outside of the ordinary human life cycle.
So you think he's being a good principal?
Yeah, for sure. He's actually interested in his students. He wants them to strive for more, aka Excelsior Prep School Part 2. And he tells Clark, assigns him a 5-page essay on where you're going to be in 5 years from now.
I'm glad that you agree with this because I do too. I thought that you were going to be going against it.
He would be 20 years old at that point.
I thought you'd be going against it, being like he's completely overstepping it. What type of principal would assign a student that type of 5-page essay? I'd be so pissed off. But I like where your mind's at. Because Reynolds does care.
Yeah, and it's because if you're in a position like him, you're going to act just like Clark. You're going to be thinking like he's picking on you, like what the hell, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, looking at it like at an adult perspective here, he wants him to try and be better on the surface level because he could see him doing great things.
And what I love is that he probably knows that Clark is so good at other things, but he's such a crappy writer that he's like, this is something that he's really going to struggle with.
That's one thing I wanted to talk about because he mentions because Clark's like, well, I do write for the Torch occasionally. And he's like, rewriting the cafeteria menu doesn't count. I said...
That was such a burn.
I was like... Is that really all he's done? Because I think about it. What has he written?
Yeah, Chloe's been trying to give him pieces in order for him to write, and apparently he hasn't given anything back, always had an excuse, aka the Clark usual. So instead of him being able to turn in a story, she only trusts him with a lunch menu.
Go Clark, man. He's trying so hard. Extracurriculars. Right there.
He's not trying at all. Clark sucks.
Whatever, dude.
But we are now back at the
Talon
town because we are still showing that Clark is struggling, in fact, with this paper. He wrote one line and he's like, oh no, it's just not good enough.
Yeah, and Chrissy shows up and is asking about, I guess, are you not going to help with us?
It was a volunteer committee.
Yeah. And he's not going to do it because he has an essay to do.
Which is actually a very good excuse to be like, dude, the principal assigned me something. I have to do this. I don't want to. I would much rather be doing what you're asking me to do. Trust me.
And then I would think this girl's weird or dumb. Clark, why would you do that? Who cares about the future?
Well, she's like, whoever wants to even think about that? All you're going to do is just grow old. Okay, villain, whatever you say.
Right?
Keep telling me who you are right now, please.
And then clear indication here. Her hand starts to de-age. Age more. Yeah. Aggressively. Because it goes super wrinkly, has this old people spots and shit. And she freaks out. And tells this dude, what was it, the equipment guy?
It was the light guy named Russell.
Russell,
and by
the
way,
light guy.
What I love more than anything is the fact of, oh yeah, hey, Chrissy, I got the lights now set up. You want to come see? I put in my notes, oh, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He's
because
completely
he
dead.
totally is.
He's completely dead. She's going to kill him now.
She's going to suck the youth out of him.
Now we have her going in to kill Russell, where then Clark and Lex are left out to be able to have the conversation. Lex walks up, gives a little smirk and a laugh, and says, I bet you're writing about what you're going to be doing in 5 years.
Because he knows the assignment.
Because that's exactly the assignment that he gave him at Excelsior when he was 14 years old. Where now Lex is explaining kind of the chip on the shoulder, you could say, that he had. Explaining a 14-year-old as a bald kid having to go to an all-prep school. How do you think I was treated? How do you think I had to act?
Yeah, I'm Lex, bitch.
You know how he had to act? Like prison. The moment that somebody looked at him wrong, he had to immediately hit him in the face.
That's right.
The moment that somebody looked at him bad, he just had to hit him.
It's like in The Longest Yard when Adam Sandler smashes that cafeteria tray on
That's
that
why I
dude.
said prison. I was trying to be cooler, but now it's from a movie, Longest Yard, so now it's not as cool.
Dude, did Longest Yard copy Smallville?
No, Longest Yard came out in the 80s.
But did they have that specific cafeteria scene?
I don't know.
That's
You're
right.
going to have to ask Burt Reynolds.
But anyway, so we get to find out there's like little similarities here that Reynolds maybe saw potential in Lex. Even though he was having that act, that little rebellious thing.
Well, Lex is not even actually like making it seem like it's a bad thing that Clark is having to do this. Clark is still like, oh man, it's just because I'm friends with you. And Lex even looks at him, well, I guess being friends with me has its high prices. And they both smile. Yeah, Clark, shut up. Okay?
And Clark does the classic get up, let me go get more coffee because I sip a lot of coffee as a 14-year-old. Sorry, 15.
Oh, and you know what? The coffee doesn't even affect me because I'm Superman.
That's right.
I don't get caffeine.
Does he even get dehydrated?
No! Well, maybe. I don't know. Unless the sun has some type of dehydration. I don't know if he needs water or not.
Seems like that's all he needs is the sun.
He may just need that sun.
And so Lex notices something, and it's that like it could be lingering with Clark, and Clark admits, yeah, I've been having trouble with, the granddad situation, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, why don't you talk to me about it? I'm the king of family dysfunction. And so they talk about Grandpapa.
And how Clark is caught in the middle and he just doesn't feel like it, that he's being able to help the situation. Lex is like, well, sometimes you just need to be able to make a move. You need to be able to initiate this. Maybe something good can happen to it. So I have to do it, Lex? So I have to?
He's basically telling him to sack up, Clark.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And Clark is finally being like, okay, maybe that's right.
And we finally go to where Chrissy and Russell went. And Chrissy makes this weird little slutty move on Russell.
No, I thought something different. So I was so into this scene because this is probably my favorite in the entire episode. We're going back to Russell and Chrissy now speaking and talking. And she obviously is making a move, speaking about how you and Troy were such good friends. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's get emotional.
Yeah.
Russell's not even thinking about it. Instead, he's just wanting a kiss. But what I wanted to point out more than anything is the fact that she immediately says, we need to be able to do this for Troy, for the others.
Yeah, all the ones that live inside me.
The others? What are you talking about? Yeah. The ones that live inside, I thought they were going to do more with that.
The ones who will live inside me forever.
I thought, she...
keeps the souls inside of her.
Yes, I thought there was something so much more to that. Where
and then you even see the glimpse because they kiss, and it literally looks like the life is just being drained. Eye sockets go in, it's literally a body decaying.
See, I thought there was going to be so much more to that when she makes that comment. I go, that is the coolest line that I've heard in this entire episode. I thought there was going to be some soul thing. I thought this was going to be like Yu Yu Hakusho, running out the Soul Reaper sword and just having just a million skulls coming out. I thought it was going to be nuts. And like what I even said, I thought it was going to be some witch moment.
Yeah, well, guess what, Taylor?
Shut up, dude. Just stop. All right?
It didn't happen.
Just stop.
They said, nope, not for you. We go our own way.
I don't want to hear anything. You know why? Because what we want to focus on, let's not do a villain. Instead, let's focus on Grandpapa and the family problems.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that scene. I think that's coming up, isn't it?
But that's all they want to focus on in this episode. That has taken over half of the episode.
It's a good story, dude. It's a good plot line.
Of Jonathan once again being an asshole and refusing the money. Oh, hey, look, here's another asshole Jonathan scene.
This is Clark's greatest moment. Greatest moment right here.
This is you.
Clark is waiting for his dad. John pulls up to the barn right outside with the truck. He's like, hey, Clark, help me out, but you talk to me while I'm working. He's like, all right, John.
We got to get this done before it gets dark. Okay,
Yeah.
All you're doing is telling Clark to work right now.
He's like, yeah, what's up? So he goes into the conversation, and out comes Grandpa out of the corner. Grandpa, Clark set up a meeting abruptly between him and John. This doesn't seem like the greatest idea.
And I love...
It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
What I love, though, is that even Grandpa is like, you know what, this is between us, not between Clark. Don't get mad at him. I just want to be able to say I brought a check, so I want to be able to help. Jonathan is immediately like, I know what you're trying to pull. He's like, listen, just because I was right doesn't mean you don't have to take my check.
I don't want my daughter to suffer.
I still agree with. I'm sorry. Suck up your freaking pride. You are the dumbass here. You failed as the caretaker of this home.
He won't
fold. And by the way, this is what also makes me mad. You know what? If you didn't want to hear this, man, you don't want to take his money, take the check from Lex.
That's right.
You want to solve these problems? Take that check.
Yeah, why not?
Take the check, Lex.
Take the check! Dude. And they just argue. Basically, John's like, you just came here to turn the old knife, huh?
Oh, yeah, some things just can't change, Clark. You just don't get it.
John's nickname around town is Jonathan Don't Fold Kent.
Yeah, Jonathan doesn't want to give up anything. There is no sucking up any type of pride, which, by the way, it makes me hate him even more.
Yeah, and Grandpa just ends up leaving. He just ends up leaving. He's like, whatever.
I'm not listening to this.
Screw all this. I'm going to leave. Sure, whatever. You want a cashier's check? I got it. You know? I got it.
I got you for it. It's a blank one. You just write whatever you want on it.
Yeah, and so after that, we go back to Smallville High, and Clark is talking about Grandpa.
To Pete, saying that
this is not their best friends on. This is, of course, episode 2 of this season, going back, because their relationship is not close at all. Why would he not open up to him?
It's because him and Pete are having some problems.
That's right.
Well, yeah,
best friend relationship problems, dude.
I agree with you. I'm just trying to fit certain things in episode 6 and certain things in episode 2.
And so Chloe butts in, and we have the obviously more detailed, like, oh.
Well, no, because now we're bringing up Russell.
Right. We have more detail on, like, what's been happening. So Russell is now aged 100 years, and body was found. It's like, oh, 2 progeria. What is that? Progeria. Progeria?
I said progeria. Yeah, it's progeria.
Progeria deaths in 2 days. What are the odds of that?
They already discovered that it wasn't progeria, Clark. She said in the last scene that it wasn't, that Clark, they did tests over him.
Stop trying to make progeria happen.
Did you not hear my Emmy friend, the goth one?
Emmy friend. And so even Clark puts together the whole Chrissy thing, because he's like, oh, you know, Chrissy was talking to her. I mean, talking to him, talking to Russell. Last time I saw them.
He's like looking at her and he's like, hey, she then came up to me and was like, I don't ever want to get old. And she is somebody that we've never seen before. Transfer from somewhere we've never heard of. I think it's Chrissy.
Yeah. And it's a good hunch. Like Clark put on his Velma hat.
Well, Chloe immediately goes, I don't think that it could be. What's giving you that type of right? And then Clark goes, can you just look into the background? Chloe, fine. All right, I got nothing else to do.
That's Clark's best moment there.
We now cut to the next scene where Lex then walks in to Principal Reynolds' office.
Yep.
And this is where he is now going to talk about their type of backstory. But also I want to bring up, he says that he came into the office in order to donate computers. Joseph, hasn't he already done this?
Yeah.
Didn't he already do this with season 1?
He updated, I'm pretty sure it was the torch, no?
That's what I thought.
Because he was interested in the torch, so...
He updated the computers.
Yeah.
Where else in this school do they have computers? So you're trying to tell me that in this school, they need more than like 20 computers? This is not
Maybe the faculty's computers?
Okay. I'm getting really angry with how much money this school seems to have for being an alternative school.
Notice that Lex picked up, or they were talking about the Count of Monte Cristo, the book. And, of course, a classic tale about a guy haunted by his past. Reliving his past, I guess, whatever. History repeats itself. Redux. Revive. Bro, we're keeping a constant trend, huh?
Because you're the son of a clerk!
And now we get to talk about how Lex is grateful to Reynolds for how hard he was on him back in the day. And he looks back on it in hindsight, and he's like, I loved you for that, basically.
This was Lex coming into the office not to be an asshole.
Yeah.
This was Lex coming into the office being like, hey, I just want to say I feel like that you helped make me a better man. I felt like you were there. Reynolds wants nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. Reynolds is like, take that and shove it to where you know.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that. I just want you to know if I helped you become the man you are today, I'm disgusted with myself, Lex.
That's what he says, dude. He literally says, like, ugh, I don't know if that's something to brag about for me, I guess. I don't want that on my resume.
History seems to be repeating itself. What do you mean?
You're trying to basically, like, Basically, hey, get off my buddy. I'll give you computers.
Hey, Lex, your father, Lionel, back in the old prep school days, he decided to go to the board saying, I'll give you a library
2.
if you decide to, because he heard about the expulsion review of Lex Luthor.
From Reynolds.
Where then Reynolds got that phone call from the trustees of the school board, where they then fired his ass because Lionel then gave them a library.
Yep. It's like, hey, make Reynolds go, bye-bye, and I give you 2 libraries.
You know why? It's because Lex came home and was like, oh my God, Reynolds is acting like my dad. He's just being really supportive. He's trying to help me. And Lionel's like, I can't have that.
Hell nah.
Not in my house.
I will not have that type of weakness in
I'm
my
the
house.
only one that can help you, Lex.
You care about my son? Gross.
I think you're a pervert. Fire him.
Disgusting you care about my son.
Well, now we have at the
Unannounced
next...
Lana.
Well, I love
And
it.
it is barn 2 for you, bro.
I love that he did say when Lana comes by, no, it's fine. I'm glad you came. I needed some inspiration. That's so adorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so adorable. It's a very cute little thing.
Oh,
that
is
I
that,
like.
yeah, you like it?
She didn't even pick up on it because she sucks. But she then says, I was heading over to the Talon, but before I did that, I want to be able to look at the photos of my mother because I got the report back of what happened and who this person is. So she really loves Clark in this way where they can just speak about their family problems. I'm not going to lie to you, Joseph. He is so far into brother territory. There is just...
No, dude, they just went out.
There is...
I mean, technically, at this point in time, they are in that brother territory because this is episode 2, bro.
This is brother territory.
No, we're not brother territory after Red.
Oh, no, we're in, like, I don't like you territory.
Yeah, but it ain't no brother.
Oh, no. After you kiss like that, there is no brother involved.
Yeah, when you're on shift, on the clock at Talon.
Yeah, when I'm trying to carry a tray.
And here we go. Here we go, Clark again telling her, like, basically, looking in the past, don't do it. But he kind of hints towards letting her do it too, no?
Yeah, well, it's more of like they both understand they need to be able to make a move in order for them to not focus on the past. They need to be able to both take action to get their futures to move forward. Clark then in the next scene takes that first step where he then goes to the motel where his grandpapa is staying at. My issue with this, so grandpapa is really rich.
Yeah.
He is staying in a motel. So I have to assume this is the fanciest place in Smallville that he could stay.
This is the best Motel 6 in town.
This place looks disgusting. And the fact that this is the suite of the motel makes me even more disgusted.
I mean, it is Smallville, dude.
Look at how tiny and look at that TV. Where is this hotel? Is that 1986? Mm-hmm. That doesn't pick up color.
Hey, so get this, right? So he walks in here, right? So Clark walks in here. And he's like, hey, Grandpapa, I know you don't like our family, so I brought a really cool family picture book for you. You want to take a look? We're not just arguments and grudges.
And bills.
Yeah, we're not just overdue bills or anything. We're actually a pretty cool family. You're low-key missing out. And I didn't know if this was like Clark just being the desperate thing again, or maybe he's just rubbing his grandpa's face that, hey, dude, you could have a cool family. I'm sure your life sucks.
You took it that way?
No, I'm just saying it could work a bunch of ways here. Clark is out of left field everywhere in this episode.
I took it as if I was grandpapa and this man just said that to me, I'd be like, are you 6 years old?
Dude.
Has Jonathan been raising you too much? Why don't you just continuously talk to your mother? Stop talking to your father because right now I'm concerned. What is that?
He's probably like, God, you're so Jonathan's son.
Is that a picture book in your hands?
Gross.
What is that?
What is this? Gross. Disgusting. Get this away from me. I don't want to see that shit.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. He's like, and then he just grabs the book and he's like, here, I want you to give this to your mom. This is a cashier's check. She can cash it in whenever. It's good whenever. I don't care when she wants to do it. It's like, why don't you give it to herself, Grandpa? And he's like, I'm sorry, Clark, can't do that. Well, I understand a man who's just going to come here and just leave after 20 years like it's nothing. And look, he walks back out with the picture book. He walks back out with the picture book.
Yeah.
That means he yanked it from Grandpapa. He's like, then you don't need this. You don't deserve this, Grandpapa. Or should I say, William? Clark is the biggest baby in this episode, bro. I've never... This is unheard of. You have to be a really emotional 15-year-old. You have an absence of something. There's no way...
Yeah, you're needing the love of an older man because Jonathan was not that father figure that you needed him to be because he's such an awful person.
Tell me what's special about the grandpa part. Like, it's like, what are you missing out on? You don't like the stories John's telling?
Maybe Grandpa likes to go to the Sharks games.
That's true. He could definitely afford those.
Instead of having to go fishing all the time. I think that's probably what it is more than anything. Because otherwise, man, that was so bad from Clark to truly walk out with the photo album and say, well, I guess you don't need this.
What is it like in Forget Sarah Marshall? He's like, you know what I just realized? You're the goddamn devil.
Yes. Well, now we have to cut to the next scene to the real goddamn devil, where it's Principal Reynolds once again walking in the halls with Chrissy and saying, Chrissy, hey.
Hey again.
About those transcripts. You know, been asking for them. Hey, I also called your house twice.
No, 3 times.
Nobody picked up.
No one's called me back.
I'm a little bit concerned. Why wouldn't anybody pick up? Chrissy, I need those transcripts.
Chrissy, this shouldn't be that hard. So he's like, oh, why don't I arrange a meeting? I'll come by the house, sometime this week. He's like, you know what? They actually be at the spirit rally this week if you want to do that.
Well, he doesn't make it weird because he's like, I want to be able to meet you and your parents together. Are your parents going to be at home over the weekend? I'll then come. No. My parents will then show up at the pep rally. Come meet them. She doesn't have any parents.
Nope.
There is no parents.
Because she's an old bag of bones.
We don't know that, but she turned old again.
That's true.
Now
she's
on the
aging
next
again.
Scene, Joseph, we find out she's old.
We find out she's old at the torch. Chloe did her research, like Clark said, and Clark's best moment was to figure out that it was Chrissy. And so, look at this. 3 students die mysteriously in the Piper High School 1990s yearbook.
And okay, before you go on, that's why, because it's still describing the scene. They go back, and each time they are describing the scene on her class history, they go back as far as 1921.
Yep.
But this is where I want to get detailed.
She had different names, too.
So, Joseph, they say that it's 3 people in a 48-hour period each time. So she has rules to her powers.
Mm-hmm.
So with that 48-hour time of her kissing those 3 people and her getting that youth, does that then allow her to last for then years?
Seems like it's the ritual.
It seems like there is a ritual to it as if she is a witch.
Remember in the witch movie? She needed the baby.
Exactly. There is something to her where even it starting in 1921, we could say that is very close to witch period. That is kind of towards the very end of the witch period.
It was definitely a relevant thing, too, as far as popularity in media. I mean, that was what, a Blair Witch Project was around this time?
Yes, that's where I got the vibes of her being that type of person, villain. And instead, no. And instead, I got Grosso. I got just something nasty where they do figure it out. Clark then says, you know what? Chrissy was just at the pep rally, so I need to go there. Chloe says, okay, I'm going to call. She then immediately looks up. Clark is gone. Clark, where are you? How many times are we going to do this, Chloe?
You got it.
How many times? How many times are we just going to continuously keep shouting his name and he's never going to come?
Clark, where you at? Marco Polo.
If she looked for another 3 hours, I would laugh my ass off.
Dude, she's probably doing that every time. It's probably just slowly reducing. She's learning from her past mistakes.
And this is also where him and Chloe seem like they're getting along a lot more, too, versus Chloe being a big weirdo. She actually seems like she is more helpful in this episode versus the later ones that we are getting, or that we have gotten. Because, again, going off of the episode 2 scenario.
Damn.
I really wish they would have taken this to the witch. This is such a witch thing. Cool. Yes.
At least to provide, at least the explanation.
Like a reasoning.
Spoiler alert, they don't explain her powers. We're already 5 minutes left of this episode.
Yeah, that's a great call, too, because we are now cutting back to the final scene.
And the soft porno music.
I love this because I'm also confused in this scene. She wants Reynolds to show up where obviously her parents are not there. They are at the talent in that pep rally room where she is planning on knocking him out and kissing him.
Yep.
Joseph, he has no youth.
Well, I mean, he's definitely younger than her.
He has no youth, though.
He's got some youth in him.
But the rules would be with kids, which is why she stays in high school.
Well, we don't know the rules, Taylor.
She wouldn't get any youth out of Reynolds. Reynolds is like 60, 65.
Well, this is also a way to silence him, and so he can stop questioning about the transcripts.
What if it's the amount of years she sucks, she goes backwards in? So if she sucks Reynolds, where then she goes backwards, let's say maybe 20 years, she would still be old, but she wouldn't be 80. She would just be 60.
It's true. Okay.
I like going with that theory more.
We could probably go with that one. It seems pretty solid. And we finally get a glimpse because Reynolds is trying to find her, and she comes into the light. She is aged, looks like 30 years.
She looks like...
Nah, more like 50, actually.
She looks like Amy Adams.
She does kind of
Yeah,
look like
she has that
Adams.
same
the
fat
craving,
suit.
like the craving look.
It's same fat suit. They just kind of put it on her now instead.
This one's kind of better.
This is where Pete also looks dumb.
Yeah, see, this is another thing
Yes.
where it's episode 2, because if we play right here, Clark and Pete are coming in to help with the supplies and stuff, and Clark's like, where's Chrissy? I need to find her.
He just runs in randomly, and Pete didn't even acknowledge or even be like, oh, yeah, I just saw him.
Yeah.
Instead, he's like, oh, hey, Clark, you're here.
Yeah.
And Clark's like, hey, well, where's Chrissy? Oh, yeah, she's just here around
I
here.
just saw her somewhere, and he uses X-ray vision, and he's like, hey, go lock the door.
As if
Because he
doesn't,
can see Chrissy leaning down for the kiss.
but as if he also doesn't want Pete to know what he's about to do.
doesn't know, because as soon as he
Yes.
turned around, he's like, no, nothing's going, like, I'll tell you what's going on, just go lock the door, like, it's something bad about to happen.
Oh, God, and Clark runs over to her, and she turns around. She's the most disgusting thing I've ever
Dude,
seen.
she's aging bad.
Like, it's gross. She's got the yellow on the teeth.
And Clark's like, I'm just not going to let you hurt anyone else, old bag.
She's somehow aging into a man. I just don't understand because, once again, I was hoping for a witch where I then got some magical spells, or magic would have also been able to weaken Superman, where then there would have been more of a connection, there would have been a bigger fight. Instead, all Clark does is throw the old lady and says, don't touch me, ew!
Classic push. Yeah. She should have broken every bone in her
She
body.
should
at that
have
point.
died.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have any super strength, so I don't understand.
And then now we get this weird disco light phantom zone type thing.
All of a sudden her time's up.
Yeah, her time's up. She's aging crazy as each little reflection is going on. She's going pure like dust mode. And then she glows and disintegrates from a yellow glow.
Best special effects I've ever seen.
What the hell is that?
No kryptonite power. No explanation.
No explanation on the
No
power.
anything.
Nothing. And then Clark just sees that happen and that's it. Boom, done.
That's it. We're done.
And
we got
do
rid
we
of the
even
villain.
acknowledge Reynolds? Like, what's going to happen with that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's
oh,
fine.
now we're back at the Kent house. We're talking about bills again because that's all this family's about. He lied to his grandpa.
No. Reynolds is gonna be good. He's just has a concussion. See, they even acknowledged it. He just warned me even about being late whenever he got into the ambulance. Haha, he's still that hard ass that he always is.
I love Reynolds.
Oh God. And so, Joseph, do you actually want to take over this
Oh,
scene?
yeah.
This is you.
So they sit down after the whole principal conversation, and John's even like, I'm sorry I couldn't work out with your grandpa, Clark, and yeah, sorry about that. And so he's like, he goes, well, I went to go see him, and they're like, what the hell? And he pulls out, yeah, he told me to give this to you, Mom. It's a cashier's check. And he's like, yeah, I went to go see him, and he told me, he tried to reach out to me during his time when he was missing from the family, like 20 years. I'm sorry. We saw the motel scene. We saw you enter the room and leave in the same scene. Y'all didn't talk about that.
Clark, he does not want you around. From the bottom of my heart, he does not.
He doesn't care about you.
He really doesn't. And I would try to give him every benefit of the doubt, but he doesn't want anything to do with you. And you know what I love in this scene more than anything?
Oh, yeah.
Is that, guess what, Joseph? Do you know whose fault it really is that they do not talk to Grandpapa?
Yeah.
It's not Jonathan's.
It's not Martha's either. It's Clark's. Because they then go into a whole thing, well, when you were young, we didn't know your abilities. He didn't know about them. And we were just nervous, if maybe something would happen if he'd be around or just him knowing. And Martha even says, yeah, we didn't even know if we could really trust him. Who knows what he would do about that information. And then Joe Clark's like, so you're telling me why he's not been around this whole time is because of me?
Clark,
And what do? They go,
Clark, some people, they want to be able to have a relationship with their grandpa. For you, it's just not possible. What?
they said, hey, Clark, your grandpa's alive. You can't have him.
What?
Yeah.
It's my fault?
And they don't even say, it's not your fault, Clark. They don't even blatantly say that, which they shouldn't, or they should, because it's not his fault.
No, Joseph. It's not Jonathan's fault that he punched him in the face. It's Clark's fault. Clark was the one that caused the rift between the two. It has nothing to do with Jonathan sucking up his pride. Instead, it has everything to do with, Clark, you have abilities. We have to hide from people. All on you.
All on you.
Now we get finally a scene where it's once again the barn and Lana is showing up unannounced. Hey, Joseph, I have a quick question because this is what I'm pissed about.
What's this dress?
Lana, what's the dress?
Why is she wearing that dress?
Why are you wearing that dress? What's with the heels? Where are you going?
Where are you coming from?
Where are you coming from? Who are you
No,
with?
but for real, if that's for the spirit rally, then that's stupid.
No. She's going with a guy. She's going with a guy. She's wearing that dress. Yeah. She's for sure going on a date. And she's coming into Clark, and Clark's just accepting it because he's the brother.
Yeah, episode 2, bro. Anyways, they talk about, oh, yeah, how's it been going? It's like, yeah, I'm writing this essay. I think I'm going to kick its ass. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? Journalism. It's growing on me. Don't tell Chloe.
And you know what? I think I'm going to try to find a way to have a relationship with my grandfather. Clark,
dude, we just went over it. It's all your fault. He doesn't like you.
Clark, why are you doing this? Why are you making this difficult? He made it perfectly clear. Just give your mother the check.
God, he's so hard for his grandpa.
Just go away, son.
I would use the hell out of that.
But don't worry, Clark immediately says, well, Lana, was everything going okay with you? Oh, God.
I read Lex's file.
And you know what I found out?
Guess what?
My parents were divorced for a year.
And so now...
But they worked it out eventually, right?
Yeah, they did. They did. So when they got back together, though, I was born right after. So that means... Lana's mom was knocked up by someone else. Not her actual dad that was raising her. This could be her biological father that's still alive. And dun dun dun. That's how the episode ends.
And now we are finally cutting away because I know you're out there, somewhere out there. Daddy wasn't there. Oh, God.
To take me to the Smallville Fair.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah, so this episode was bad. But hey, we did it. We did it.
How the hell is this episode this long?
I'm out of breath.
Oh, I'm out of breath. This episode was awful.
Next week's is going to be so much worse.
Oh, my God. Okay. So if you are listening to this episode, you are a true fan.
We love you.
I could not tell you how much I love you. Usually I would give you so much negativity. But in fact, if you stuck around and you actually watched this episode, you are a hero. You are a damn hero. And next week, I'd probably call you a god.
Ooh.
If you watch next week.
Flirting with the audience now, dude.
Yeah. Next week, they deserve the flirt. Come on.
Next week, what do we have? Lineage? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Joseph, we have Lineage, where
Episode
a woman
7
comes and says, Clark, I'm your mother.
Hey, Clark, I'm your real mom.
Hey. This is happening.
But then, dude, we'll finally get a streak of good episodes after that. We get past this little hump, dude. We're back in motion.
We're finally back on the quick track, because right now I'm in the slow lane, and, dude, I just want to get over.
So, again, we do have the new Twitter, somebody save _me on Twitter. So, of course, check us out. That's our handle. Leave us comments, reviews, whatever. We'd love to hear from the fans, you know?
Negativity only.
Sure.
Only give me negative reviews. Only give me negative comments. All I want to know is how much did you hate this episode?
Yeah, make Taylor do some work, man. He needs to be
make me
some
do
work.
something.
He needs to get comfortable back in social media here.
I don't
need to help
even
him
know
out.
what to do.
Just talk shit to him or something. I'm sure he'll respond.
Actually, probably. But it's got to be about the show. If it's about me personally, you're trying to cut me deep.
Blocked.
Yeah, blocked. I don't do personal comments. I'm just kidding. It better be good, though.
So catch us next week for Lineage. And we'll try to make it as entertaining as this one.
Good God.
Yeah.
No, there's no.